Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Hope y'all having a blessed day today. My name is In the Phoenix, and today I kind of wanted to share something that I sort of researched when it comes to automating the sharing of a VPN connection to a console, assuming that you followed the last video explaining that on how to set up everything. So this video will essentially just explain how to automate it so that you don't have to go through here, click the share and go through all that stuff. So this video here will show you sort of how to automate that. Now, I do want to say that I do not take credit for any of this. I literally Googled how to do this through PowerShell and sort of came up with this solution here. I added in a few things like some printout statements and all that type of stuff to explain like what's going on. But without further ado, let's get straight into it. So this first line here, this registers the DLL that's needed to configure home networking configuration services in Windows. And again, the things that I didn't understand, which is mainly all of it, I looked up and was seeing and found out and researched what these specific coding blocks were doing. So the next line we have here is we store the internet connection sharing object into a variable, which as you'll see is used throughout the duration in most of the code here. So here is a sort of a line that I added. So the public connection name I stored into a variable as a string, which stores the name of the adapter that we're going to want to share, which as we'll see here is the ExpressVPN ton adapter. And we also stored the name of the adapter that we'll be sharing the connection with, which in this case is the console adapter. So here is we have another variable which we store the specific object of the public connection name into the COM object of the public connection name into a variable. So which is also used later on down in the code here. So if you were to run this command here, which I've already ran all of this in PowerShell, so all of the variables and stuff are already stored. But if you were to run this here, it'll give you all of these different objects which respond to the 16 different adapters that we have here. And so using this sort of logic here, it grabs the specific one, since you can't really tell here, of the connections that we want. So in this case, it'll be the ExpressVPN tunnel and the console. And then moving on to these two lines here, this stores the internet sharing, the specific internet sharings for the public connection, the variable public connection, and the private connection. So if we were to run this command here, so for the specific public connection that we're looking at, we can see that it is sharing enabled is true, which is it is sharing. And you can also do the same thing for the private connection here. Which in this case is the public connection is Express ton adapter, and the private connection is the console adapter. So here's where it gets sort of into the logic of how it shares the connection. So in this if statement here, if public config.sharing enabled is false, which as we can see here is true, but in this case, if it's false, it'll just go through these commands here to share the Ethernet connection since it isn't already shared. And as you know, if, for example, if the connection is already shared and you reboot the computer, even though Windows thinks that the connection is shared, it's not, because you reboot it. I looked it up a while ago. It's something that they haven't fixed. But if it isn't shared, you just reshare it. You share it and then it's good to go. But if it's in this else statement here, so if public config.sharing enable is not false, in that case it has to be true, which in this case here, it will unshare the connection and then reshare it as you normally would after a reboot. So that's the whole gist of the code there. You store all of this different information and objects into a variable, and then based off the variables parameters, we go through this logic here. So if we look at the logic here, if we see that it's already shared, so if we were to right click properties, sharing, as you can see that it's already shared. So in that case, it should jump down to this else statement, which we have printouts to see if it actually does that. So if we were to copy this, everything here, well, I'm gonna comment out the, I'm coming out the exe0. I don't actually want the PowerShell instance to close. But if we were to copy all of this and paste it. It runs through everything. Okay, so ExpressTun adapter already sharing Ethernet connection to console adapter, restarting process to avoid the Windows error. So now it's going through the different commands here. And then at the end, we get out a printout statement saying adapter is now sharing internet connection to private connection. And then it's exiting, which is really not, because we commented out exit 0. So now it's shared. And if now we were to, I'm going to pull this up here. As you can see, it's not connected, right? But if I were to start it here, as you're going to see in a few seconds, I'm going to refresh. So if I go down and back up, as you can see, it is now shared with this Express VPN connection here. Now let's go to the other case. So we're going to stop this. And if you were to stop, as you can see, now it's not sharing. Now let's go to the case of, okay, we right click properties, sharing. We disable the connection share, right? So now it's not being shared. And just to confirm, if we were to start the connection here, we shouldn't be connected via our PlayStation. Yeah, see, it's still checking, like we're not connected. So that's how we know that it isn't shared. It says enabled here, but not shared. So if we were to stop this and rerun this code block, it should jump to this if statement here, because now the sharing enable is false. So let's copy all of this, go back into our PowerShell window, and then rerun it. Yep, ExpressTun adapter not sharing internet connection to console adapter. So now it's starting the process here. And then now it's done. It is now sharing to the console adapter, exiting. And now if we were to go back into the properties, you can see now that it's actually sharing. And just to confirm that it is, go to ExpressVPN, start the connection. And then if you were to refresh, you can see that here in a second, it is now connected. So this essentially just automates the whole process. You will have to, I'll show you how to run the command, but this will differ depending on each setup. All you have to do in order to get this to work is to come to these two lines here and just replace the name of the adapters that you have on your setup. So this will differ per setup. There is a way to sort of run this command and pass in the parameters through PowerShell if you want to do that. But for the sake of this video, all you have to do is coming to this code block here and replace the names of the adapters that are specific to your network. So this one here is the name of the connection that will be shared. And this is this variable here is the name of the connection that will be shared with. So yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. If anybody is confused about this or have any problems, now I do notice sometimes that when rebooting the PC, just even trying to go into here and reshare, it'll sort of like freeze in this screen here. And the only way I figured out how to get past that, if it like freezes after you share the connection here, is to just reboot the computer. I'm not sure what causes that, but you should reboot the computer and sort of rerun the code here. Now I'll show you how to actually run this in PowerShell without having to like copy and paste the code. So now you want to get this working on your machine. I'm going to leave this code pasted in the description for you to copy. Going to copy all this code here. You can Control A, or well, you want to copy everything and Control C. We're going to make a new text file. In order to do that, you shift right click on Windows 11, new text file. Let's pretend that this is the new text file that we just made. We're going to open the text file. Open. We're going to paste everything with Control V and then Control S to save. Now that the file is saved, now let's just pretend that this is the file that we're working with. Again, this will vary depending on your machine. Now what you want to do is you want to shift right click on this file and you want to rename it, and you want to take off the .txt extension and replace it with .ps1. This will force it into a PowerShell script. And once you've done that, you want to shift right click again, and then now you want to create a shortcut. Now whenever you click create shortcut, usually it'll send it to the desktop. Let's just pretend that this is the shortcut that we just made. Yours won't look like this until you've done what I'm about to explain now. So let's pretend this is the shortcut. You want to shift right click, go into properties. I'm going to paste this command here. This is the command that will force this shortcut to run the PowerShell script in PowerShell. You have to go through this. So you're going to copy this command, which should be pasted in the description, and you want to paste it into the target. And the only thing that you're going to change is what's in between these quotation marks here, which will be the directory or the path to where you made your PowerShell script. So in this case, if you made it on the desktop, it should be like C users desktop or something like that. Anyway, you just want to find out where that is, and paste it in between these quotation marks. There should only be 2 quotation marks. If you were to copy the path, there may be 2 on each side. You want to get rid of those additional. What I'm saying is it may look like this once you paste it in there, but you want only 1 set of quotation marks on the end and beginning. And then the start in should be the directory where your PowerShell script is. So in my case, it's in the C directory. So it'll be up to wherever this PowerShell script is. So as you can see here, C:/. Okay, after you've done that, you want to click Advanced. You want to click Run as Administrator, click OK, click Apply, then click OK. In our case, we've already done it. So now if you were to right click the shortcut and then Run as Administrator, you'll get a window that looks like this if you've done everything correctly. Now it's going through the whole process in which we explained a few minutes ago. And that is how you automate sharing your connection with your VPN to the console. And again, I want to reiterate that I take no credit for this. I just looked it up on Google on how to do this automated because I got tired of clicking everything every single time I booted up my computer. And really, this is really just for like Red Dead or GTA where your IP is just out there and people can boot you. I still get booted, but it's usually booted on the VPN. So as long as they don't have your main IP, then you're good. But yeah, I just want to go through this tutorial on how to do that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know if you guys try this out and if you have any other like if you have any errors or anything like that. Again, the only thing that you would need to change is the name of your connections that you're trying to share and share with in between these quotation marks. But other than that, that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully this works for you, and let me know what you think down in the comment section, and I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.